the family code talks about how we're supposed to calculate the child support amount. It does not talk about the cost of living for where the child is located.
The cost of living in Mexico is not the same as the cost of living in Texas. I do have another child that lives with me most of the time, and that child is neurodivergent. Also, this is not me trying to get out of my responsibilities. I've always, long before Liam was born, I took care of his mother, I took care of him long before he was born. I've always paid my child support, whatever the court told me to pay, I always paid those. He was born in Mexico. He has always lived in Mexico. He has never been to the US.
Let the record reflect that Dalia Elizabeth Molina Granados, also known as Dalia Elizabeth Molina, is not present for today's hearing.
Can you state the full name of the child of this case?
Yes, it's Liam Molina.
And who is the father of the child in this case?
I am the father.
Do you have any other children, Mr. Godswell?
Yes, I do. I have another 9-year-old son. His name is Jared Godswell.
Does that child live with you?
He lives with me half the time, yes.
And are you obligated to provide support for that child?
Yes, I am.
Are you currently working?
Yes, I am.
About how much are you making a month?
After taxes and deductions, about 3,000 thereabout.
Okay, and before anything is taken out, what is your gross monthly income?
I believe it is about 5,000. I'm not exactly sure.
Second, I have here. Sorry, my computer is freezing. I'm trying to pull this up. While I'm doing so, Mr. Godswell, I believe I have something that I'm going to show that shows your income, gross income without any taxes being taken out is about $6,400, without any taxes getting taken out. So while I'm doing that, is that correct? Or are you testifying to something different now?
I don't think I earned that much. No. Last year, there was a time last year when I worked a bunch of overtime because I had a little bit of extra time. So my pay for some of the months actually early in the year was a lot higher than most of the other months. But other than that, no, I don't earn that much.
Any other questions, Mr. Cabo?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm trying to pull up the information. I have to cross him on this, but my computer is taking forever to download, so I apologize. Can I circle back to this, Your Honor, while it downloads and ask some more questions?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Godswell, is the child in this case currently insured?
No. Oh, no, he's not.
Is health insurance available to you?
Yes, it is.
What health insurance is available?
I have TRICARE health insurance for the next few months.
And you said the next few months. Is that going to end soon?
Yes, it's going to end in 6 months.
And then at that time, how will the child be insured?
I'm going to switch to my current employer's insurance, regular marketplace insurance.
Do you know what that costs currently?
It's actually a lot more expensive than TRICARE.
Okay, but do you know how much it costs?
No, but I know my colleagues pay as much as $500 for themselves and their family.
And with this TRICARE insurance, is it also going to cover dental insurance as well?
Yes, it's always covered dental.
Will the dental insurance under TRICARE also stop in 6 months?
Yes.
You were told the recommended child support amount from the Office of the Attorney General, correct?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and you were told that using the calculations we had, it would be $904, giving credit for your additional child and credit for the $114 cost that is associated with the TRICARE, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And you are not in agreement with that amount, correct?
I understand the amount. I understand how we came to that calculation, but my issue here is I want to talk to the judge about this because the cost of living in Mexico, the child lives in Mexico, the cost of living in Mexico is not the same as the cost of living in Texas. I believe child support laws were made based off of cost of living here in Texas. I do have another child that lives with me most of the time, and that child is neurodivergent. It's actually a lot more expensive having to raise a child who has ASD or ADHD. So it's not like smooth sailing all the time. So it's a lot more expensive than it normally would be raising a regular child, dare I say a regular child. So that's what I wanted to bring to the court. Also, this is not me trying to get out of my responsibilities. I've always, long before Liam was born, I took care of his mother, I took care of him long before he was born. I've always paid my child support, whatever the court told me to pay, I always paid those. So I'm not trying to get out of making any kind of payments. I'm just saying that I think it might not be very fair to pay exactly what I would pay for a child that lived in Texas as compared to a child that lives in Mexico. So if the court would take that into consideration before making the decision, I would really appreciate that.
Okay, and just to be clear, so you are not in agreement with the recommended amount of child support because of the cost of living adjustment you're asking for and taking into account the needs of your additional child. Is that fair to say?
That is, yes, pretty much, yes.
Okay, pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Nielsen,
Mr. Godswell, how much do you make per hour?
$33 and I think 62 cents
And you're paid hourly or salary?
hourly.
Okay. And do you work any overtime currently?
Not in the last 9 months. No, I've not. I cannot.
And you mentioned that you had previously worked overtime. Why did you stop working overtime?
Well, my son had a bunch of issues in school. We had a whole bunch of issues in school. We got to a point where we considered actually pulling him out of school and then homeschooling him. I had to actually switch jobs because of that. And that's why I cannot take any extra hours of work. I work 4 days a week because I have to have him the rest of the time.
And during those 4 days a week, are you working 36 hours or 40 hours a week?
Yeah, I'm working 40 hours.
Okay. At $33 an hour?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said that you're asking that this court adjust the child support accordingly due to the cost of living in Mexico?
Yes.
How long has your youngest child, Liam, lived in Mexico?
He was born in Mexico. He has always lived in Mexico. He has never been to the US.
He's never actually even stepped foot on the US?
No, he has not.
Okay. And last time that you were here in front of this judge, in front of this court, did you request that the child support be adjusted accordingly due to the cost of living situation in Mexico versus El Paso?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And did the court adjust it accordingly below the guideline amounts?
Yes, the court did.
Okay. Do you recall how much the court did adjust that amount from the guideline amount?
I think it was adjusted by about 200 or so, $200, $300, thereabouts.
Are you asking that the court do that here today, adjusting from $904 to $704?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this TRICARE coverage that you have available for your child, you're asking that you be allowed to put your child on TRICARE?
Yes, sir, if possible.
And then when TRICARE lapses and you have to enroll your child on private health insurance, that cost is going to go up, correct?
Go up. Yes, it is.
And rather than wasting the court's time and coming back and adjusting child support accordingly, are you asking for the cost of living adjustment to reflect that change as well?
Yes, sir.
I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Galvin,
No questions, Your Honor.
any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nielsen, did you have any other witnesses as well?
We do not. We'll rest, Your Honor.
All righty. Mr. Galvin?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's ready to proceed and close. The state is recommending the child support be changed from the non-agreed child support review order amount. That amount did not reflect the additional child that Mr. Godswell has. The state's recommending a $904 child support amount, and is recommending this to the court in rejecting this cost of living amount adjustment that is requested by Mr. Godswell. The the family code talks about how we're supposed to calculate the child support amount. It does not in the child support amount, it does not talk about the cost of living for where the child is located in. The state's urging the court to reject this because the cost of living in Mexico, even if it is smaller, does not have any bearing on the amount as calculated. And in the alternative, if the child was living in a higher cost of living area, then the presumption still would be to do the calculation as required by the Texas Family Code and not deviate upwards just because the family is living in an area that's either higher or lower in cost of living. If the court is to grant the TRICARE insurance as the insurance in the amount of $114, which was given credit for in this child support recommendation amount. The state is recommending that this be ordered as a cash medical support. As the testimony has confirmed, the child has never stepped foot on the United States soil. So TRICARE as the insurance wouldn't, even though it's expiring in 6 months, it wouldn't actually be able to be used in Mexico, from my understanding. But if the court deems it to be that is potentially possible for the child to have some kind of medical access through TRICARE, then the state has already accounted for that in its child support recommendation.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nielsen?
Judge, while we agree with the child support calculations as to what the guideline amount is, we would ask that the court deviate from that amount. While Mr. Calvo is correct in determining that the family code states how to calculate that child support, that is just a presumption, Judge. The testimony shows that Mr. Godswill does have an additional child who's got a disability that requires substantial care, and obviously his inability to work any additional overtime to care for this child to ensure that that child receives an adequate education. While Mr. Godswill has always paid his child support, he has been able to support this child and has made the argument and to this court to adjust that child support given the cost of living, since the child lives in Mexico and has always lived in Mexico. And the court has granted that requested relief in deviating from the child support guideline amount downward. So we'd ask that the court just maintain with its prior ruling and deviating from that child support amount. With respect to the health insurance, Mr. Calvo's argument that the cash medical, that it should be paid as cash medical support, I don't think holds merit here. Mother did not have to move to Mexico with this child and then rely on the Texas courts to set child support. Mr. Godswill does have another child that he has on the health insurance policy, and it would not cost him any more to include this child on that as well. So asking for additional cash medical support on top of having TRICARE available just seems to appear to be double dipping by mom, or requesting by the state. So we'd ask that the court grant Mr. Godswill's request to deviate from the child support downward to the tune of about $704 and allow him to enroll the child on TRICARE and then subsequently the private healthcare insurance that will be available to him in 6 months. Thank you.
So Mr. Nielsen, so in the order, do you want it to be that Mr. Godswill will maintain healthcare insurance from an outside source, whether it be TRICARE, whether it be some other employer, or I'm just trying to figure out the ways that they would have the order drafted. If we put TRICARE, then he's going to be required to continue TRICARE, even though it's not available to him. What are you suggesting?
So correct. As long as he maintains it from an outside source, I don't think that the order has to state where it comes from, just that it's available to him and that he will be required to enroll the child in health insurance.
Okay, thank you, sir. All righty, last word, Mr. Calvo?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Based on the testimony and evidence before this court, I will grant the modification. With regards to the proposed order, I am going to set it at $650, deviating the child support obligation, and I will order that Mr. Godswill maintain health care insurance from an outside source. All of the dates will remain the same, just the amended child support obligation and the healthcare insurance. Any other issues, Mr. Calvo?
No, Your Honor.
That will conclude the hearing. Thank you, everyone.